Hit me with a
Montreal.
little bit of Montreal.
All right. One name, no argument. I dare you to argue with me on it. Ignacio Piatti has to be on this
Nope,
list.
you're good.
Yeah, of course. He has to be. He's been one of the most talented players in MLS, period.
Period.
And
Yep.
hasn't been a great Montreal team over the decade. So he's probably been their best player by far. Um, I also put Evan Bush on there. I know you love your
Yep.
goalkeepers.
Yep. Good shout.
He's been with them for years, and he led them to two playoff runs in 2015 and 2016. I don't remember how many times they made it the playoffs during this decade. I didn't write it down, but I can't imagine it was too many times. But he's always been an option for them, even if he's not starting now. But when I think Evan Bush, I always associate him with Montreal, and I think he deserves to be on their Mount Rushmore. Another name that I always associate with Montreal, and I know he's not there anymore, but I put Lawrence Simon on there.
Okay.
Um, he's one of the best center backs in the league that I can remember, and I remember early on he was a big part of that Montreal defense. That's where I remember him the best. I think it's a fair shot to put him on there. And then my last one is more from the beginning part of the decade. So I didn't see him play, but I'm going based off of some of the stats that I saw on him. But I went with Marco Di Vaio.
Okay.
He had a short stint with Montreal during the decade, but he racked up a lot of goals for them. Um, he had a long history with like a lot of great teams before he came to Montreal. I think he played for like Juventus, Monaco. So he was definitely like a quality player during his career. He kind of reminds me a bit of David Villa, like coming in at an older age with a bit of history and scoring a bunch of goals here towards the end of his career. He led them to the playoffs in 2013. So, and I think when I was doing a little bit of research on what other Montreal fans were saying, I think a couple of people were throwing his name around for the Rushmore also. And then I had some honorable mentions as well. I put Felipe Martins for the honorable mention from his early years when he was very young. It looked like he was putting up some good numbers for them. Patrice Bernier and Didier Drogba.
So I'm gonna let you off on the Bernier because you never saw him play. Patrick Bernier is the easiest choice to put on this Mount Rushmore. He was the heart, soul, and blood of Montreal in the early part of this decade. When you
Yeah.
thought of Montreal, you thought of Patrice Bernier because of the way he bled Montreal blue. And I don't know if you saw the video that had come out during the early parts of quarantine where his kids recreated his Canadian Championship goal. But when that goal went in, the entire area of Montreal probably registered an earthquake. That's how much he meant to that team. When you talk to anybody about their favorite Montreal player, it's Bernier and Piatti. It's no question. And I'll let you off because he was gone before you came in. But
Yeah. And
Bernier
when I
is
was looking at his numbers, they didn't look fantastic. So that's all I have to go
he
off
was
of.
so he I know, and that's why I'm letting you off because he was a center defensive mid. He was the enforcer.
Got
So he
it.
doesn't have great numbers, but he was the captain, the heart, the blood, the soul, the player you want to go play for. Um, I also had Busch in there, no brainer, most appearances. Um, on a per season basis, makes the most saves of any goalkeeper in the league, or he's at least top three. Never really revered as one of the best goalkeepers in the league, but he's a strong shot stopper, and his longevity at the club makes that easy. Piatti, not even going to go into
Mhm.
it. And quarantine got to me when I was writing this, and I put Didier Drogba on here, which hurts me. I hated that I put this kid on here,
This kid.
but
He's like
yeah,
in his
but
40s.
for the same reason I put Dayro in DC. He had a good goals to appearance ratio, 23 and 41. Um, I'm really not proud that I put him on there. I also had DeVio kind of up in the air, um, but I figured that Drogba brought more of a presence to Montreal and helped make the game kind of big over there. Bigger. It was always big, but bigger because it's Didier Drogba.
Mhm.
Um, and I know Adam would be going crazy of us thinking, not even thinking of putting on him on here. But DeVio for me was exactly how you described him. He was the David Villa coming here, big name, big stature. Um, The only reason I remember him is that dude was offside 9 times again. He was one of those, I'm going to toe the line, and if I'm good, I'm good. If I'm not, I'm not. Bro, that dude would have kicked the VAR machine first game of the season. They would have called back every one of his goals. But that was the type of player he was, and I really enjoyed watching him play. He just was, I don't want to say lazy, but he was one of those players where he came in and was like, I'm going to literally sit on this last defender. If I can break in, I'm going to break in. If not, whatever. So I liked him, but he just didn't do it for me. So I said Drogba. Oh, that hurt. That hurt me.
I think I would still keep Drogba out, but I'd maybe switch after hearing about you talk about Bernier. I'd probably switch him in for Marco.
Yeah. Who was your other one? Who was the last one?
Simon.
Yeah, I had Seaman floating up there too. I thought that I don't know. I feel like I don't.
Maybe he didn't play with them long enough. I don't know.
I think he did. It's just Montreal only came in 2013 or 2012, right? So, um, if he was gone by what 2015 or 2016, it's enough. But they didn't really do a lot, right? They won a few Canadian championships. Um,
I always remember him
I guess
being really good for them, though.
I guess the big thing is making it to the Champions League final, right? 2014.
Hmm.
I would be inclined to allow Drogba out for Simon because they made it to the Champions League final.